everyone. Good morning. Welcome to the MLM Lunchtime Leadership Show. So we are wrapping up the book High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard. You could get something out of every book, but to be honest, this was not one of our favorites, and I really wouldn't recommend it. It's a little confusing. Thankfully, with a lot of the books that we've read, we were able to piece together what he was actually trying to say, but honestly, I think it's a little bit confusing if you're newer to business. So there's a couple other books I would recommend over this one first. So before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and invite a few people on. All right, back here. All right, there we go. All right, so we are going to start this off with the personal habits. So Jeff, I'm going to turn this over to you.
Bill, what's happening? Dave Roeder's here. How's it going, sir? Cameron. So here we go. This is the last chapter. It says personal habits. Habit 1, seek clarity. So envision the future. You know, that's basically what you're trying to do. Anytime you can envision the future, you're going to create more clarity of where you're going and where you're headed, and that's going to lead to success. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Determine the feeling you're after. So there's a science of achievement, and then there's the art of fulfillment. The art of fulfillment is the hard part. The science of achievement is actually pretty simple. You know, to be able to do the right thing in the right order over a sustained period of time. I mean, the discipline part might be hard, but like actually what to do is not that difficult to achieve success in basically any area. There's usually a map, there's usually a blueprint, there's usually somebody who's done it before that you can go ask. But the feeling part is really the trick. 3, define what's meaningful. What's meaningful, like what do you want in the end? What are you trying to accomplish here? I think that's more like purpose driven. It says habit 2, generate energy. Release tension and set intentions. This transition between activities to renew your energy. So basically, what are you doing to get energy, keep energy, and make sure that you can keep it going? This comes down to like hydration, nutrition, sleep, exercise, you know, keeping your emotional on track. Then he says, you know, bring joy to other people, and then optimize your health. Habit 3, raise necessity. He says, know who needs your game. You will need your A game. Your A game. His wording is just something else. You cannot become extraordinary without a sense of absolute necessity to excel for yourself and others. Affirm the why. Why are you doing what you're doing? Make sure that's written down. Level up your squad. It says emotions and intelligence are contagious, so speed up more time with positive and successful people in your peer group. So he's talking about who you hang out with. Social habits, which is funny because he has this under personal habits, and then in social habits it's totally different. Like, it's just his order of which he did it is weird. Habit 4, increase productivity. So increasing the outputs that matter. So you're basically finding the half a dozen things that you really need to focus on and making sure that that's where you're focusing your time. And that's the science of achievement. Start your 5 moves. Ask yourself, if there were only 5 moves to make, how would I make this goal happen? So that kind of gets down to John Maxwell, what is your 5? Jim Rohn says half a dozen things. Kevin's here. What's up, sir? I think that's it. Okay. Get insanely good at key skills. Progressive mastery, I use something called IRA, isolate, repeat, accelerate. Isolate, repeat, accelerate is, what is the pattern? Get the pattern down, do the pattern, and then start speeding up that pattern. Habit 5, develop influence. Teach people how to think. In every situation of influence, prepare by asking yourself, how do you want other people to think about themselves, other people, and the world at large? Super important. I was taught to never give out the answer. I was taught to ask the question, well, what do you think you should do? Most of the time, people know what to do. Jerry, how are you? Most of the time, normal people know what to do. So your job is to get, and this is something that my coach taught me, your job is to get your team inside of direct sales, inside of network marketing, inside of any sales organization, really. Your job is to get your team to think for themselves. Your job is to get your team to actually figure it out. That's how you build an independent team where eventually they figure this stuff out and they don't have to call you. They don't have to ask questions. They know what to do. If you're constantly giving out the answer, because what you'll find is most lazy people call and go, what should I say? What should I do? They're looking for exact, they're not willing to think. They're not willing to question. They're not willing to figure it out. They just want to be told what to do. That's not good team-wise. It's good if you're, in a factory, building a factory. It's good if you're on the farm and you're like, hey, what do I need to do next? Go over there, pick the, that's different. But what we're talking about specifically for success is people thinking on their own. Role model the way. It says 71% of high performers say they think about being a role model daily. So it's kind of like set the best example you can, because people will follow about 50% of what you do right and 100% of what you do wrong inside of direct sales and network marketing. So habit 6, demonstrate courage. It says honor the struggle, share your truth and ambitions. You're going to have to share your truth and ambitions with the team, definitely with your immediate upline. That's going to help you. Shamala's here. Hello. These are 6 extraordinary habits that we practice. Okay. For even more reassurance, include checklists, posters, assessments, daily planners and journals, and corporate tool training. Visit High Performance. So he's selling himself. And then he kind of goes into a little bit about the author and who the author is, and then all the acknowledgments. So the end notes is basically just where he looked all this stuff up and the references and everything. So overall, this book is long, almost 350 pages that probably could have gotten wrapped up in Cliff Notes. It's out of order from what I've been taught. I know he studies from many, 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 many people. So I'm sure he got tons of good information. It's just organized really weird. Not necessarily the best for what I would consider the easiest way to build a business. But nonetheless, we learned, I got a couple nuggets, a couple things to remember. So with that, I know Monday we're going to be starting a brand new book. It's John C. Maxwell's, which one is it? I put it on the MLM Millionaire page. Facebook. A Leader's Greatest Return.
There we go.
It's John Maxwell's new book, A Leader's Greatest Return. You can look that up on Amazon. I'm sure we'll put a link up there so that way you can order it. But we're going back to John Maxwell, which I think, his ordering of stuff is usually extremely good. Actually, you have to be kind of good at that. If you write 100 books, somebody would tell you eventually, be like, hey, this isn't for you. He's really, really good at it. Him and Charlie Winslow. Charlie is actually the one. And for those of you who don't know, John doesn't actually write the books. John Maxwell does not write the books. It's actually Charlie Winslow, his friend, writes the books. But Charlie is so good at actually capturing what John says and putting it together the way John kind of would say it, but with proper English, because John said, he's like, when I try to write, it's all over the place. So John basically sketches out the notes. Here's what I want to say. He puts together the speeches, and then Charlie actually makes it into the book. So very cool. That's what I got. Have a great weekend. What else?
If you guys would like the notes, you are more than welcome to subscribe for those. I'm going to put a link in the comments below. And also don't forget to go follow us on YouTube. Each one of these videos is going to be uploaded to there, so that way if you would like to go back and rewatch these videos, you are more than welcome to. So with that, that is what we have for today, and we will see you on Monday with a new book.
Awesome.